Hey everyone, Strength Coach Tina here with part 2 of your shoulder remedials program. Part 1 had you rolling and stretching two muscle groups that tend to be tight, the pectorals and the lats. Now there is another muscle group that tends to be a couple of muscles that tend to be quite tight in people with limited shoulder mobility. That includes the upper trap and the levator scapula muscle. They attach to the upper shoulder blade. They're responsible for doing this, raising your shoulder blades up. Okay. And we tend to do this a little too often. We hold things over our shoulder. That causes us to do this. We sit at desks with our hands too high on the keyboard or floating, at the elbow, and we just develop this tension. And so if that's something you want to work on, you would stretch in a simple way. You would just stretch that muscle group by extending the arm out to the side like so, and turning your head and then tipping it. So you can turn and look towards your opposite shoulder. You can also tip your head strictly to the side and face forward. Wherever you feel the deeper stretch, you're going to work. Okay? You just hold that for, 20, 30 seconds, release, shake it out, do it again. Okay? And you would do both sides. Now, as a strength coach, I like to talk about what's weak, and making things stronger usually makes a lot of things a lot better. So what tends to be weak in this scenario is the mid-back. So the upper traps are really active. What about the mid and lower traps? The trapezius muscle has three big muscle bellies: the upper, middle, and lower. And it's those mid and lower traps that tend to be really weak. So there's a trap 3 exercise that I really like people to learn, but there is a progression, because just going into it can sometimes lead to a lot of confusion. People have a lot of trouble with it because they don't have a lot of awareness of the muscles of that mid back and how to properly pack the shoulder, if you will. Okay. So stabilize it for movement. So, and you'll see this in people who go to row, and this is how their shoulder moves, right? So, or they'll go and pull something and their shoulder goes up to their ear. You don't want to have that. Good stability through the shoulder and involves being able to pack it down. So you want to practice this first in the seated upright position. So often what I cue people to do is shrug and then depress their shoulders. And it's in shrugging that then people are more able to somehow get that depression. Eventually, you won't have to go up to go down. You'll just be able to sit and then go down. Okay. So practice depressing your shoulder blades and then pulling them together, which will have the effect of opening up your chest. Okay. And holding 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Okay. So the sequence is shrug, depress, and retract. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And doing 10 repetitions of 5-second holds can be useful throughout your day. Maybe the first time you sit at your desk in the morning, at your midday break, or anytime you think about it throughout the day, and at the end of your workday before you get up from the desk at the end. So just kind of doing it repeatedly through the day can bring awareness to that mid back. And then what you're going to do is take it to the ground. So on a mat, face down, forehead to the ground. You're going to extend your arms in a V, so at a 45-degree angle out to the sides, thumbs facing up, and I'm going to rest my head down. And what I'm going to do is do that same sequence. So I'm going to depress my shoulder blades, retract them, and hold. And relax. You can hold for 5, maybe 10 seconds, and do that 10 times. And you can do that for a couple times a day, okay, until that feels really natural. Then the next step would be to do an arm raise with that, okay? Now, oftentimes people's arms are bent at the elbow. I'd like you to work towards straighter arms in this exercise. So you're going to depress your shoulder blades, so drop them down, retract them, and lift. And you can hold for 5 seconds and then come down. Once that becomes second nature, then if you have access to a bench, you're going to face forward on a bench at about 45 degrees, okay? I usually start people at 45 degrees, okay? And you're going to do the same exercise. Note my position on the bench. I'm standing with my legs straight. I'm not sitting. My chin is over the end of the bench. My hands are hanging down. My thumbs are facing forward. And what I'm going to do is that sequence. I'm going to drop my shoulders down, pull them together, and raise my arms up. And this increases that range of motion, and it becomes more challenging to avoid raising your shoulder blades up, doing that shrugging motion. You're really trying to achieve that motion without allowing the shoulder blades to travel upwards towards your ears. Okay, you don't want to do that. You want to have full control over those shoulder blades. This can be really challenging, okay? But you're going to work on it with those progressions in mind. The other thing you can do to strengthen the mid-back, which is really quite straightforward, is simply doing band pull-aparts, okay? So arms extended out front, a gentle resistance band, pulling and holding and squeezing. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. And out and hold. That's a simple strengthening exercise that can complement this other one. I really love the trap 3 raise, even though many of my clients despise it. And I encourage you to work towards it because it'll transform your posture. And it will take away a lot of attention in your upper neck, and it'll transfer well to a lot of your other exercises, particularly pulling motions, and avoid you overusing that upper trap. Okay, so give it a try.